The end of last year, I completed what I'd consider a pretty huge accomplishment. I finished a sketchbook, and every page of it is beautiful. It was a labor of love, and my aesthetic spreads were created over the course of a week, every week. And because of the size of the sketchbook, it took me a year and a half to finish. I love this kind of sketchbooking. It becomes part journal, part scrapbook, part art piece, which when I started it was something I really needed. I will say, for anyone out there who is feeling discouraged that their sketchbook doesn't look like this, I feel you. But you need to know that pages like this take a lot of time, and that's just not realistic for everyone. It got really hard for me to balance once I went back to school. So, if your sketchbook doesn't look like that, it's perfectly okay. Sometimes, it is a matter of the time you have available and not your level of skill. There is nothing wrong with keeping a good old-fashioned sketchbook that just has sketches in it. Even if they're messy, that's how you grow. Plus, a perfect sketchbook looks different to everyone. I look at other people and get so jealous of their sketchbook styles too. Really, it's a matter of what style is going to work best for you and your creative process. I went through the whole thing with my chat on stream, so this video is going to consist of my explanations from that stream, with me hopping in from time to cover anything I missed and talk about the specific kind of chapters in time, the eras, if you will. So let's get started. So, fun story. This sketchbook is something that I never intended to share, which also means some spots might be blurred for privacy if you're wondering what's going on with that. But the origin story goes, it was the beginning of July, and instead of enjoying the summer, which is my favorite season, I was moping about a breakup that took a much bigger toll on me than I really like to admit at that point. I've always found art a helpful form of therapy, and I had an empty Muji sketchbook that I had bought at the end of 2022 that was just waiting for a purpose. So, I started a new sketchbook. It started pretty simple, just a way to document my week, explore my feelings, and maybe work on some characters while I was at it. These pages all got pretty busy and complex because I wasn't in school at this point, and other than hanging out with my friends, I had literally nothing else to do other than draw. This page feels like so clean to me. It's like sacred. It's the originator. This is a very old design for Ace, one of my characters. Got like a nice little film strip with some shitty watercolor, because that hasn't changed. I'm still bad at watercolor. And then the Sailor Jupiter and the Pikachu are just with some paint on a sheet of scrapbooking paper I had. And then page 2 is where we start to get really, really interesting. You can see I'm starting to experiment with like layering text more, layering the doodles. This is like kind of the birth of the concept, even though it's a very stickerless spread. There's only 3 of them. Over here is my pondering page. I love this spread. This spread is not anywhere near as deep. It's just fun. It's just pure fun. And this is all crayons. I keep doing crayon pages in my sketchbooks, and I haven't been able to top this one. It's just too good. We're getting into like a stretch of a few of them that I have like some really, really heavy nostalgia for. I took drawing requests for this one. I asked my friends what I should draw. The photo strip, the fair ticket, the FNAF fan art, that's all me. So's this. I've got my friend's cat and 0.5 lens. Cat's so good. I know this is, I think, the best cat I have ever drawn. I started to get more confident in the collage style. I had actually had stuff underneath the paper and stuff on this page that I ended up hating, so I was just like, it was in marker, so I just covered it up. And this is kind of what started that like collage obsession. Here we're getting into August. It's between this one and the next one for what my favorite ones are. We have Sparrow. This was when I did a big design overhaul for him, and I kind of embarrassingly haven't touched him since. And this was August 2020. Like Sparrow, but honestly, I kind of neglect him. This is the vacation spread. This is why I love it so much. I went on a trip with a couple of friends, and it was very good. And the mental impact this trip had on me was also crazy. I did a whole lot of pondering. And then other than that, it's just like fun vacation-y stuff. I think this is the prettiest water I've ever drawn. These are real pressed flowers. This is where the pressed flower thing kind of started. I keep forgetting about this spread, but this one's pretty good too. I have some little like environment design practice. I was doing studies from Spider-Verse. More Animal Crossing. I've got quite a bit of evidence of Animal Crossing through this era of my sketchbook. Then I have some of the boys from my comic. Again, very old designs for all of them. Pokemon trainer Alistair just for fun. And then my precious child. Then I love this page. This page is so good. This is kind of where the Pokemon card painting started, was when I just started sticking them in my sketchbooks. Here's me looking all flustered. I was doing like a tonal drawing with red, yellow, and blue. This is where the sketchbook starts getting really thick. All these cardboard pieces are from a Pokemon card box, so it's like actually thick cardboard that I have stuck in here. This one was my birthday spread. This was like my last week before starting art school, and it was also my birthday. So I went all out. I drew a bunch of anime girls, plus Mercury is here also because she is my anime girl. And then my first semester of school hit. I'm an art student, so I've got the general air of creativity around me that's fueling these spreads, but damn, do school projects take a lot of my time. You'll notice the spreads become a little bit simpler here as I try to be a little more efficient with my time. This is also where we start to see some spreads I really don't like, but that's okay. I also didn't finish a lot of these spreads week of and had to go back to work on them after the fact. Shh, that one's our secret. And then this was my first page of school. These are all like little concept art bits that I had drawn while I was in class because, you know, now it's socially acceptable for me to draw while I'm supposed to be paying attention in class because we're at an art school and everyone does it. Put some old Mercury and Alistair transformed art. So I don't know how I got her boots this good, you guys. I think about this sometimes as like, how did I get them so clean? Especially this. Like, I cannot replicate this. I like it. I want to be able to do it again. But I don't know where that skill came from because I currently do not possess it. Stupid butterfly will not stay in place. This was a very fall spread. We got into September and I immediately caved. I have a lot of fall art supplies. We continue the trend of me refusing to use watercolor paper in this sketchbook, even though everything else is so thick. I just, for whatever reason, will not just stick watercolor paper in it. And I just do it on the page instead. This continues through every single sketchbook I have. Fall! More fall! I love this spread! I specifically love this character design. Also, was having a banger art day. I don't know what was going on. Oh yeah, and I just got a circle hole puncher, so I was trying it out with my scrapbook paper. I got some little guys here. This page begins the sticker overload, as I'm sure you can see. I was getting ready for a D&D campaign. I was like, oh, I'm gonna make a paladin that's a magical girl. It's gonna be so much fun. If you've heard me talk about my D&D character before, this is not what I ended up playing, but I do still want to reuse this design. I don't like this spread, you guys. I like so many individual aspects of it, but as a whole, it just clashes so bad. All of it together, absolutely not. Does not look good. Part of it is because I used a different orange for this side. If we can look at the Espeon in a vacuum for a minute, shit, that's good design. This page like took me so far past October 15th to finish. Like it sat here unfinished for a long time, and then I just kind of slapped some stuff on it and it was done. That's all. It's not an exciting spread. This one is though. I like this spread a lot. It's hard to see under the lights because the snake pattern has a gold foiling on it. It's my collection of Halloween little guys. On to the next page. I don't like this one either. It's just messy. It's a sketchy page. None of the colors really go together. I didn't really try that hard on the watercolor. Just not super happy with it. This is the Halloween spread, or the week of Halloween spread. This is me and Saucy. We did Cosmo and Wanda cosplays that none of the children recognized, and it made me feel really old. And then we have like a transition into like the cold November winter. Also me losing at mini golf, but we don't talk about that. This page feels unfinished to me. I drew all the Sailor Moon girlies though. That was pretty fun. I also drew Laguna Blue from Monster High, Daisy and Peach from Mario, and this is Quarry, except I was really upset. As you can see in my little note, I was struggling. This page, a lot of it got covered up because I wasn't happy with it. I was having really bad art block actually throughout this period. That's what it was. In theory, there's a lot I like about this page, but in practice, it's a bit of a mess. And I wish I had spent longer working on everything that I was doing. Yay Canada, yay mountains, so pretty. This is just a drawing of the street that I did in a lot of blue and purple. The street was not actually blue and purple. I don't think I need to clarify that. And then this is how I decompress art block. If anyone was ever curious, I draw crows. Weird little guys. I like them. They make me happy. It's not really advice, because I don't know if that would actually help anyone other than me. It's just kind of the way my brain works, but funny little guys. Oh boy. The moment I got out of school for the semester, I was immediately burnt out and art blocked. The month of December mainly consisted of me trying to get over that pesky art block, catch up on pages, and enjoy making art just for myself. I think that's been the biggest struggle with school, finding the divide between the art I do for projects and the art I do for myself. Can confirm, it's still a struggle. And then this is the spread where I actually cured it, which I will say, like, you don't always need to try and fight to cure art block. That wouldn't be advice I would give to everyone. But I was annoyed at it, so I actually did, like, put in an attempt to kind of get over it. And I did that by drawing comfort art. And then, like, it kind of made me want to try some weird stuff, like this fun Alistair on the back with the cool-ass wing. I think this page is really good. I really like this one. And then some Christmas ones. I am still so pissed about this Volcarona card. I knew I had dupes of this card, and I really wanted to paint with this card specifically. I have 2 of this card, the exact same. I have 2 of this same foiling pattern for this card. However, I still felt really bad about using the foils. So I went ahead and I used it, and then I shit you not, the next week I pulled another one of this card that was not foiled, and I almost cried. The theme of, like, this spread, a nostalgic Christmas feeling. This one is not super Christmassy other than the fact that the boys are in winter outfits. All of their designs have changed since this drawing. But Lance, Corey, Alistair, Ace, the main 4 I typically draw. And then this is another character that I don't really talk about very often because I'm really lazy about designing her, because I'm still really lost on what I want her design to be. I like this page a lot too. The purple looks kind of weird on camera, but I like this one a lot. I did some little designs. They're themed after the sun, the moon, and the stars. Some more Alistair concepts. I was drawing him with the wings a lot during this period, and I was using, like, the angel wings. I have since, like, kind of had the, like, realization. His design is loosely based off of an emperor butterfly. So when I want to do, like, his awakened or his final form or whatever you want to call it, I really should be using butterfly wings, and I just don't here. But, you know, he looks good with wings either way. And then this is the Christmas spread. I did some little kind of comic panel-y drawings of my characters. That's a beaver tail. We've talked about beaver tails on this channel before. For those who are confused, it is a pastry. The notorious beaver tail, yeah, they are a pastry. We do not eat the tails of beavers. We love beavers too much. If you're ever in Canada, I do recommend having one. They're tasty. Here's the hyper anime, hyper collage New Year's spread from 2024. I wrote down some New Year's goals for myself. This is before all of the social media goals came into fruition. I always like making a nice, hopeful thing to look at the beginning of a year. New Year's is, I think, a very underrated holiday. I love goal setting. The new year and some new art supplies set the perfect stage for me to work on some character designs and show them off in the sketchbook. I'm already planning some dedicated videos talking about everyone's design and tentative stories, so give me some time on that one. But the characters I draw the most throughout my sketchbook are all a part of the same work-in-progress comic, which is a coming-of-age story about a group of magical boys. Some character designs. Everyone kind of coming into their more modern iterations, except for Mercury. I hate this design for her. Everyone else is looking pretty good, though. Need to bring back this method of hair rendering. It looks so good. Let's talk about this page. This was an attempt at a Mercury redesign. It didn't really last because I redesigned her, like, again 2 weeks after I did this spread. You'll notice here I have, like, a little Lush wrapper. This page still fucking smells like soap. Like, I can Yep. Can confirm. Still smells like soap. We're gonna get pensive again. We're gonna get like into the emotional. Welcome to the fever dream. This page is kind of an ode to an anniversary that never happened. Because I kind of like considered that like the chapter 0 of this kind of section of my life. A section of my life that I actually believe I closed with this sketchbook. It's a very word-based page, which you know I'm thinking when I'm writing. I think this page is a really interesting case study in the way that I express emotions through my art. I've never really made anything else quite like it. We'll move back to the fun stuff. This is Mercury redesign. This is current-ish Mercury. I made her hair longer. I was playing with watercolor and wash. Whitewash specifically on tone paper. And then we have this page. This is, I think, another favorite of mine. It's not quite as complicated as some of my other favorite pages are. I really like the colors and the vibe, and everything kind of fits together very well. Little star whales that I want to turn into stickers. Plants, just for fun. And then this is my actual D&D character. This is Carrot Cake. They are my Harengon Paladin, and their weapon is a lance that is copper, so it will look like a giant carrot. This is the Valentine's Day spread. This is a very collage-y one as well. We were playing Mario Wonder. That was our Valentine's Day this year, so I just drew Daisy and Luigi. And then we have this one, which was an interesting concept that I have mixed opinions about. I drew another fairy. She's not as good as the fall fairy. And then I tried to do like a magical forest type thing. Love the jackalope. I don't have much to say about this spread. Ace design spread! We're getting closer to his modern design. It's still changed from this. He has glasses and he's a lot more of a goofball now. Among Us! Sus! The way the Among Us actually came to be on this page is I was doing blob exercises, which if you don't know are like you draw a blob with like a marker or paint, and then you go over top of it and you try and find a shape in it and you turn it into whatever drawing of that shape. But I got so stuck with this blob, I could not see anything other than an Among Us being in it. I took it to other people at my art school and I said, please help me. Tell me what you see in this blob. Please tell me not Among Us. I cannot think of what to draw. And then I got peer pressured into drawing the Among Us. We love the very fancy base. We love this cool ass crossbow. I'm not even sure if I'm still using this design for the comic because I might give him a full bow. I did this, I think, in one of my classes that I was not paying that much attention to. And I think that might just be the secret. I think I cook really hard with my art whenever I draw in class. I like this page. This page is a character that I'm not ready to talk about because I'm still working on concepts for her. But you may notice that she has the same sword that Mercury does in her design. This is a coloring page that I did and then I kind of just tore out and cut up and stuck in my sketchbook. And then everything else is just me trying to draw pretty older women, which I still struggle with a little bit, but I'm getting better. I think this is the oldest OC I've ever drawn in my sketchbook. This is from a comic I was working on in high school about a little witch girl. Here's some continuity from the other Corey design. Finally, a Corey design that doesn't look like shit. And indeed, this is pretty close to what his modern design is. I just added more like chains and dangly bits. And then some comic panels, or some comic thumbnails, I should say. I love doing these. I need to do them more often. They're so fun. I especially like this one of Lance. Here's another friend request page. I fucking drew Sonic wrong in this and I'm still really pissed at myself, but it's fine. Sonic with Sonic fandom quote. I love Sonic fandom and I quote it way too much. If you haven't seen it, it's really fucking funny and I recommend watching it even if you haven't seen any other Sonic content. It's still funny. I think that this stretch of pages went underappreciated by me in the time I was creating it. In fact, it took until I looked back over it while writing this script for me to realize that I really like these pages. They're probably my favorite era of pages aside from that very first one. There's something about this time in my life that felt so light, so hopeful, and I think you can feel it in these pages. This was a time where a lot of planning and hoping for the future took place, with me prepping myself to start putting my art on social media again and applying for my character design program. And you're gonna see things start changing for me very soon. Spoiler alert, you guys. I like this page. This page This page kind of weird, but it's fun. I can always like recollect when I did a page like super late at night or something, and this was one of those ones where it was like I think 1 or 2 in the morning, and it's just like, you know what I really want to do right now? Draw. I don't know, I'd been kind of stagnant in what I was doing for a few spreads, and so this one I really like locked the fuck back in. It was almost like train of thought drawing. Like I was just like, I'd do a drawing and then I'd move on to the next thing, and I'd kind of like keep going, which is how we end up with some of these random like writing bits and all of that little stuff. This one, I tried something here. It didn't really work out. I wanted to try like not covering up at all my marker bleed, and instead just pile in some sketches on top of it. In hindsight, this was too dark of a marker bleed color to do that with. Alistair was playing with his hair, gave him some dyed ends. Maybe I should try that again. That was fun. I liked that. A very green spread. Or Ace. Oh yeah, this is about the time I had my stickers printed, so I used one of my Ace stickers. Oh, that makes me excited. I kind of forgot that I started using the little chibi stickers in this book. This drawing up here is kind of the start of me thinking about the concept of turning Eevee into a D&D race, which we explore later in one of my streams. We have... Oh, I love this page! I forgot about this one! This is the Comic-Con page! So this was also the same week that my favoriteest band in the world ever released their second album. It's Bears and Trees, that's the band. This is also the band from the UK that I order a shit ton of merch from. They're really good, and if you have not listened to them, I highly recommend them. I'm not biased or anything. they are incredibly important to me. I've been with their band since like my last year of high school, and you know, a lot of that music has kind of like grown with me since then. Okay, on to the next. My god, my rendering style for this one. This is the page I always go to for a little friendly reminder that my rendering actually looks really, really good when I bother to do it. Because I complain all the time about how I don't know how to render, and my rendering is so bad. And that is not true. That is a lie. The truth is that I am lazy, and I don't do it very often. This is what stuff looks like when I bother to render it, and do my line art nicely, and all of that. Holy shit, look at it. I want to look at this drawing of Lance until I die. It's so good. I get insecure about my art a lot, and I've been feeling that a lot lately. You know, that's kind of art school does that to you a little bit. You understand, right? That, you know, everyone's kind of at their own pace, and even though you are in an art school, like, you have to remember that you're there in the first place. You were clearly good enough to get there. Try and find a way to use the other people around you as motivation to improve, and not just motivation to tell yourself that you suck. This was like a potential D&D character that I never used, and I don't have much else to add beyond that. This is kind of a nothing page, just filler. We can move on.
And so, it happened. I got accepted into my program. This was a huge, huge win for me. As an artist, I think I'm prone to always doubting if my art is good enough. It is super important to be able to give yourself that reassurance, but that acceptance letter was still the reminder I needed at that point that I am more than good enough. This section highlights my excitement, but also some of the worries and stress that come with a change like that. I'm really good at letting everything stress me out, and when my life is changing so quickly like how it did this summer, stress happens. These pages are still super fun though, don't get me wrong.
This was the week that I finished my playthrough of Pokemon Fire Red. I got like weirdly attached to Dodrio with this playthrough just because he was a really funny dude. What's more important than the Pokemon of this page is this side of the page where I celebrate a bunch of stuff. I did 1 year of open studies, and I have to do 1 year of open studies. School is divided into Bachelor of Fine Arts and Bachelor of Design. Bachelor of Fine Arts is like your classic like painting, sculpture, ceramics, drawing, all of that kind of stuff. Whereas the Bachelor of Design side is like graphic design, photography, and then character design. The thing is that for the Bachelor of Design part of the school, you have to do a second application after your first year in order to get into the program. And the seats for that are like super, super limited. I worked my ass off to do a second application for that, and this was the week that I got my acceptance letter for that, and I was very, very excited. Was having a bad time around all of this happening,
This was the mental health day spread where I was trying to take care of myself a little bit better because I was going through it. It's a very basic spread, again, because I wasn't having a great week. I kept it nice and simple, but it's still pretty. I think this is my favorite drawing on it. It's real good. This is another field note style spread, except I was actually outside when I did this. I actually was taking field notes in an attempt to do something different for my mental health, and also because I was in the midst of a very big Pokemon Go phase. I opted to pack myself a lunch and just wander around my community. Yeah, I think the pressed flowers, honestly, are what my favorite part of this spread is. I love having pressed flowers in my sketchbooks. I think it would be fun to do a full sketchbook in this style. Gumi Community Day! Like I said, Pokemon Go phase. This was part of the reason for the Pokemon Go phase. Gumi! So Saucy and I made like a whole day of it. We went for brunch and then we went out to a huge park. I caught like hundreds of Goomies that day. And of course I got lots of shinies. I really love shiny Goomy, little honey blob boy. We were talking about the Minecraft lore stuff earlier. This is also one of there's a lot of stickers on this one too. This page is also really cool because I use pencil crayons and I almost never use pencil crayons, and it's on toned paper. I was playing Monster Hunter this week and I still haven't finished this game, but I got really into it for like a solid week and a half. I don't know what I was doing down here, but I like it. I think I just wanted to use color, and so I did. I love drawing people with bird wings. Big Lance spread. Love Lance. And I did like a nice big fun black and white illustration for him. I like the paper, the textured paper beneath. I think that was really good call by me. And then I wanted to do like a Hyperpop drawing, which I only half succeeded at because Hyperpop is hard. I won a Cyndaquil plush from a claw machine. I was so proud of myself. I love claw machines. I love gambling. And then this I actually show people a lot. This is when I used references of foxes to draw evolutions. I think they're so funny. Look at them.
This is the section of pages that I consider the start of me doing the quote-unquote content creator thing. I still really don't like that term, but I don't know what else to call it. So the experimentation that's happening on these pages comes more through the style of content than it does the pages themselves. I don't think I even had my first VTuber model set up for most of these pages, and I definitely had no idea yet where I wanted my content to go, although I can't say I have that completely figured out now either. I do have a nicer VTuber model though. A nice painting of the night sky and fireworks. This is all very like giving summer festival, which I guess was the point. Again, don't know how I got this background so good. Sure would like to recreate it. It was really pretty. I kind of cooked with that. I did like a little journal entry just about like summer stuff. This page feels very like just like summer. It's more of a journal than just a sketchbook for this one, but that's pretty nice too. This is when I was working on my VTube model, so I drew myself a little bit more VTube ready. But a lot of the summer ones I don't have that much to say about them. They're just very pretty and I like them. I must admit, Myth Mothman was such a hit. He's so cute. He sits on top of my curtain rod in my bedroom now, and he watches me while I sleep. Oh yeah, and I did do some like concepts for some illustrations I was working on. I don't think any of which I've actually finished at this point. This right here, this is the start of an era. This is the first sketchbook spread I ever did on stream. But I did some crayons and then some marker stuff, and this side I did off stream because this took me the entire stream. It's nice having the smaller size sketchbook so I can actually do a full page on stream. This is where the whole Twitch streaming thing started. This one's kind of hard to see because the crayons didn't pop as well on the black paper as was advertised to me, but it's still very fun and I really just wanted to try out the crayons. This spread was so involved. This took me so long. This is an Alice in Wonderland themed spread with all of my characters in related outfits. They're all in little costumes, obviously. Alistair in Wonderland now. This spread, I think, was worth it, but it was like a process to get this done. This was like just another summer one. We went to an amusement park for my birthday. It was very nice. Got a little bit of the map. I won in mini golf again because I'm just goated like that. Some character designs. This is that one other character whose design has changed very, very drastically from last time we saw her. And then a whole lot of stickers because I
think this was the week of my birthday, and I can do what I want. I did a Miku. I did a Miku for my birthday again. I love Miku. I think I drew one for my birthday spread the previous year as well, so just needed to happen again. I had some Frankie Stein Monster High drawings that I was doing for practice, and I just stuck those in here. So you maybe kind of notice I get to a point with these where they kind of start to slow down. How involved the sketchbook is kind of dips a little bit, which just, you know, happens because I'm in school and I get really busy and I start doing content creation, so, you know, priorities start to shift, but I am still doing them weekly at this point, although I play catch up a lot.
Since I was back in school for this stretch of pages, most of them were done entirely on stream. Because of that, they look less informed on my week-to-week happenings and more informed by whatever I felt like doing on stream that week. Some of them turned out great, but some of them look like I threw a bunch of scraps together at the last minute, because I did. This chapter is a mixed bag, but I'm okay with that since I know I was growing outside of the sketchbook while all this was going on.
This spread I did on stream, and it was a rush job. The whole point of the stream was for it to be a rush job. I was trying to give myself like interesting concepts per stream, but I think I may have pushed it too far with this spread. It's like a speed run, but for a sketchbook page, which art is not the thing to speed run. This page I remember being a really, really fun stream because we were painting on paint chips, and I had a lot of fun with it. I think the Alistair and the Totoro are the best ones. This is me. I gave myself a little magical transformation. This is the stream where I designed Eevees as if they were a D&D race. It's an interesting concept, and I would like to continue developing it further. I'd like to actually make like a proper like homebrew race for these guys. Someone in my literature class just handed these out to everyone. It was so cute, it needed to go in my sketchbook. And then, really banger drawing of Alistair. This one is really, really good. I did a bunch of portraits on stream as practice, just like rapid fire, quick. And then I came back later that week. I was messing around specifically with Crayola Super Tips, which I still like, by the way. I talked about them, and then people on YouTube, they're like, you can just get like budget alcohol markers. Like, you don't need to buy Copics. I know, I have budget alcohol markers. They're still expensive. 100 pack of Super Tips, $20. Still use them, still like them. They're really fun for sketching with. And as you can see, I can't actually get good rendering with them. I just don't typically render with them anymore. The person was trying to be helpful. It's not actually that deep. My one gripe is that they dry out kind of fast, obviously because they're very cheap markers. Corey page! I love Corey! And this page is literally just me playing dress up with him. There is no other point to this, it's just dress up, and we love playing dress up with our OCs sometimes. This fall spread, once again, an example of me not knowing how to match orange with other colors. More Halloween stuff, kind of, vaguely, sorta. I have my cat in her lovely Halloween costumes. We dress my cat up sometimes. She does not like it, but she looks very cute. I also did a lot of animal drawing around here because I was trying to learn how to draw Fakey I drew all my guys in Halloween costumes. It's mostly references except for Lance, who is just a cat. Alistair is Sailor Moon. Mercury is in the same costume as Karen from Mean Girls. Pharaoh is dressed up as Spider-Punk. Corey and Ace are dressed up as Donkey and Dragon from Shrek. A little bit of fan art over here, and I was trying to do like a final form for Mercury. We painted Pokemon cards for Halloween. Holy shit, I love this. This is one of my favorite paintings I've ever done, so that's really important. We pulled a chaser from the Tokidoki series I was opening. She's still on my desk. And then I did a similar thing to what I did with my last year where I kind of transitioned it into winter. I used more of my final form Mercury and some more animals that I had left over. Oh, this one also doesn't feel finished, but I was doing Fakemon this week, so you can see I was doing some studies of some real Pokemon, and then my little guy who's a Steel Bunny. He looks, I think, a little bit too much like a proposed, like, Steel Eevee. There's a concept there that I think I should work on more. I don't really do Fakemon on this channel very often because I find it really difficult. It's very involved, but I probably should get back to it.
Here it is, the last chunk of Sketchbook. I really stepped up my game for some of these final pages. I wanted to finish strong, especially with how important this sketchbook was to me. There's a lot of inspiration and exploration in these final pages. A last surge in creativity for the outlet that had meant so much to me over the previous year and a half. It's beautiful. I think the passion still shows here. It's a little bittersweet. I know the conditions that led to this sketchbook were unique, and the way it all played out will never repeat itself again.
but in a way that makes it all really special. One of my professors said something the other day. What happened to the sublime in art? A feeling I kinda understand, but I can't explain. I don't know if this sketchbook does that for any of you, but it does that for me. I think the more time passes, the more I feel that in the pages, the sublime. I poured a lot of emotion into this book, so much so that there are feelings that I don't know how to describe other than with art laid out in here. You'll have to let me know what you think, but to me, this is sublime. Well, and here we're cooking. I was starting to work on my VTube model. As you can see, that's me, guys. This spread, I think, is just really cool. It's a lot of color on dark backgrounds, which is something I really like. Another drawing of the VTube model. Still haven't given myself this jacket. I would like it back. I'm chilly. And then I did some more ace drawings because this was about the time where I started to look at him and say, what if we made him a bard? And then I did, and I really, really like him. I feel like I hit those kind of points with my characters at different times. You just know. It starts to feel like a character that if I found in another show or another piece of media that I would really like. We did a full side of the page in crayon, which I hadn't done for a really long time. I love the Alistair. It looks so good. This half of the page is just a unicorno box I took from work. This is like actually the full character concept of the final Mercury form. I was very much still in that like pink and pastels kind of mood. A little bit more of like a chill mood this week, or I didn't want to do quite as much this week because everything's a little bit more sketchy. But I got asked to draw foxes, so I drew some foxes. This was an actual like Twitch viewer requests page. So we designed another Fakemon. This is particularly the boy that I want to work with more. He's a little fire water type salamander. He's a fire salamander, and I adore him. This one, also sketchy. I think the reason a lot of these are sketchy is because I was trying to get caught up with a ton of them. This page is entirely devoted to Alistair, while sketching and concepting in blue on this side, and then one of my favorite drawings I've ever done of the boy on this side. Look at him. Here is the final Christmas spread. My grandma got us scratch cards, which is what's on here. They did not win anything. This one was also, I think, a very rushed spread because we were trying to get the sketchbook finished by New Year's. Final page of the sketchbook was like right when the new year turned, so I could start a new one for the new year. And I think that's what we were trying to get to with this, which is why the last couple have been kind of rushed. What's not rushed is the New Year's spread. I love the New Year's spread. It's not like the best thing I've ever done in this sketchbook per se, but it is like, it has a whole lot of sentimental value in it. This is, I think, the last sketchbook drawing I've done of this version of my character. Draw all my characters in like what their designs had gotten to at the end of the year. Alistair and Mercury both have their hair changed now, but everyone else is pretty much as drawn here. All of it is very nice, and it does feel like a very fitting conclusion to the sketchbook. And that is, of course, the end of it. It's all done. Ta-da! That's it! That's the sketchbook. Just writing this script, I can tell this is going to be way longer than I originally guessed, but that's okay. This book is important to me, and it deserves a proper send-off. But, at the end of it all, I have to say, I will not miss lugging this fucker around. It is so heavy. No, seriously, this sketchbook means a lot to me. I'm kind of ad-libbing here, but I do really want to say that I hope you have received a sense of how much this book means to me. It's not always perfect. A lot of this stuff seldom is, but it's kind of like a story in its own weird little way, and I'm really proud of it. It's became not only how I processed a lot of stuff and how I moved on and grew from a lot of stuff that was really, really difficult for me, but it also became where I started Twitch and YouTube, which has also now become a really important part of my life and another really important creative outlet for me. And there's so much just nostalgia and feelings and emotion wrapped up in this book, and it's weird that it's over. It really is, but I'm so proud of it. I'm so proud of myself, and I'm so happy that even just for a little bit, I've gotten to share that with all of you guys. If you're still here and watching, thank you so much for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed my yap session about this sketchbook. And if this inspired you, brought you some joy, or made you feel anything at all, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear about it.
If you have not seen me around yet, you're missing out. I'm so fun. My name is Muffins. I'm a Jackalope VTuber, and I make art content on Twitch with a little bit of gaming sprinkled in there. I'm trying to do more YouTube videos as well so I can fulfill 13-year-old me's dream of being a YouTuber when I grow up. So follow here, follow on Twitch, do both or do neither. No matter what you do, have a great rest of your day, week, month, and year, and I hope our paths cross again. Thanks for watching!